Hey guys, let's do a tabletop today on the Condor Pack Golok Machete. I actually picked this thing up in the spring and I forgot to do a review on it. I kind of did a quick show and tell on it way back in the day, but just never remembered to film the actual tabletop. So here we go. This guy is 17 inches overall length with an 11-inch blade. It is 1.74 pounds, so it's about 1 3/4 pounds. And is made of 1075 high carbon steel, and I believe those are walnut handles with brass pins holding them together. The blade itself is 5mm thick, so it's quite a big boy there, and comes with a very nice, super high quality, like with anything Condor. It comes with a really nice leather sheath. You can see the stitching's very good, the quality on it's very good, riveted and sewn, with 2 snaps that hold the blade in place and a swivel belt loop. So very cool sheath. Condor always does fantastic. In the past, I own quite a few Condor products now, and I've always kind of felt their fit and finish is a little lacking at times. I think it's the exact opposite with the machetes. Condor really seems to put a lot of time and effort into their machetes. Maybe that's where their passion lies, and they put more effort into it. But every Condor machete I've ever seen has been top notch, and this is no exception. I think the fit and finish on it was really, really good, and it came pretty sharp. I mean, it's a little on. Definitely need to sharpen it. It's pretty dull right now after some hard use this weekend, so I need to sharpen that. But overall, very pleased with the fit and the finish, the quality. Haven't had any issues with the blade. The edge dinging or rolling yet. I know there's quite a few videos out there with people who got very small dings in the edge. I haven't had that issue yet, knock on wood. But what is this thing? This is about $40 to $50, so it's pretty inexpensive when it comes to the high-end machetes, but it's not a budget machete either, so it kind of falls in that middle of the line price-wise. This thing is very short, 17 inches, it's packable. It's something you can put in a backpack, you can wear it on your belt. It's definitely comfortable enough to wear on your belt. It is a tad heavy, but you gotta suck it up, guys. It's 1 3/4 pounds. The capability you get out of this is pretty extraordinary for the weight. So as much as it is kind of heavy, you deal with it when you want that kind of power. Now I have kind of some mixed feelings about this, and don't jump to the gun here, guys. It's not a quality issue with this. It's a me issue. I'm not as comfortable with this as I am with other machetes. And I think a lot of that is because, number one, it's a very heavy, very short machete. So it has a lot of forward pull to it. So when you're using it, it has a lot of forward sweep, and it has a lot of power to it, and a lot of good snap. And when you're using it, you're using kind of a traditional pinch grip that you would use for a machete. It really has a good snap to it, which I really do like. But part of the issues is that I'm not comfortable using that. I'm very used to a typical Latin machete, the longer, thinner, and so this is a big adjustment for me. So, like with anything else, if you're not 100% comfortable with it, you're not going to have a great experience. Is it the blade's fault? No, absolutely not. It's a me fault. It's just I'm not used to this style. And that's one of the things I think you're going to find if you do buy this, is that if you're not used to this style of machete, it's a little bit of a learning curve. It's not something you're just going to pick up and be awesome at the second you use it. This is going to take some adjustment. It's going to take some adjustment in your grip and your technique. This isn't something you don't just pick this up and just start hacking away at this. This actually takes kind of a little bit of a snap cut to it. I don't know what the best way to describe it is, but to really be effective, you're not just plowing into things at a 90-degree angle. You're giving things a little bit of a snap to it. And then, of course, with the curve on the blade there, your sweet spot tends to be, in this area here. So it does take that, a very unusual kind of snap cut that you have to do, and how you hold it definitely takes some serious getting used to. And is it the end of the world? No, but it's just, we're not used to that. Or at least I'm not. You might be. So the handle's really nice. That walnut handle's really comfortable. It looks beautiful too. Got the nice brass rivets in there. You can see this sucker is super thick. No overlap from the blade to the handles, so it's nice and smooth there. No sharp edges or corners to catch on. Like I said, the fit and finish is fantastic. The lanyard tube is there. It's very well done. Brass insert in there as well. It's got the traditional Condor hammer finish, which I've heard two things. I've heard number one, that it's just a really, really deep acid etch, and then some people say no, it's actually from the forging, and I don't know. I'll never know, I guess, but some people do claim it is a really deep acid etch and not really the leftover from the forging. Now, one of the things I do like about the finish is it's super durable compared to like a baked on finish that you would get with something like, you know, like a cold steel. This doesn't come off. You know, you get a cold steel, you bring it out in the woods, at the end of the day your finish is already rubbing off after your first use. This is seeing quite a bit of use in the backyard, and the finish is still like brand new. It really doesn't wear off at all. So it's very, very durable, at least in regards to the finish. Plus, I think the looks are awesome. I mean, look at that. I mean, I just think that looks fantastic. And the cool part is as you get this dirty and scuff it up, it actually, because it is kind of polished down here, it's very easy to actually clean this up with a leather strop and put a full polish back on the edge again. So if you dirty it up and scrape it up and maybe even get a little surface rust on it from being out in the elements, no big deal. You can literally just strop that polished edge and the area around it, and you're good to go. Another area I'm a little wishy-washy on is the edge. It's a convex edge, and there's nothing wrong with that. Convex edges are very strong, and they're very popular. But the problem is, I suck at sharpening convex edges. I'm not very good at it. I can never get them super razor sharp. I can get them to hair shaving, but that's about it. You know, I need to practice. So plain and simple on that. So it is a convex edge. I did put a little bit of a micro bevel. You can see the light kind of shining off the very, very edge. I did put a little bit of a micro bevel just to make it easier on me to sharpen and make it a little easier to get this thing razor sharp quicker. So I did kind of cheat and do that, just so you know. And you can see that little bead of light there run along the edge from where I did that. And it does. It makes it a little easier, because now I can just kind of throw it on a strop, restore that micro bevel, and I'm good to go. So some people love convex. It's not my favorite. I mean, I think it's a little more work to sharpen, and you know. But is it good for what it does? Yes, it's a very strong edge. It's great for this kind of work that you're going to use the machete for. So overall, the thing is, you know, it's really good. It's just most of the issues with it are me, not the blade. So I do want to stress that. These are just things that I'm not good at convexes. I'm not used to this style of machete, so it was a lot of work for me to get used to it and get comfortable with it. So overall, I think, you know, it's a very good quality. I think quality-wise, you're talking, you know, 9 out of 10. Really awesome quality. I only take 1 point off because there's a lot of videos on the internet of people dinging these things up. But that's 1075 steel. These things, you know, 1075 is a pretty good steel for a machete. It's not too hard. It's not too soft. You're less likely to have big chips come out, more likely to have dings or rollovers with the 1075, which is great because, you know, when you're using a machete, you hit a rock, you hit something, you know, like that in the ground, you're cutting a root, you really don't want to ruin your blade. So the softer steel is A-okay with me. Plus, you know, it's a little easier to sharpen, I think. You know, 1075, you know, I mean, 1090 takes an awesome edge, but 1075 just seems to be a good all-around compromise when it comes to this sort of tool. Price-wise, a lot of competition. Machetes are big. Since the big bushcraft explosion, you see a lot of companies making machetes, a lot of companies making these very traditional styles, getting away from the traditional Latin and going to these kind of Goloks and parangs and all that. So they tend to be really popular right now. And no doubt, they're very, very effective. And Condor really has made their name making really awesome machetes. So that was pretty cool. And I really enjoy it. And overall, I think it's a fantastic price at 40. I think I paid maybe 42 for this thing. But you know, prices go up over time. But yeah, it's not bad. It's got a lot of competition. But if you like the style, if you like that hammer look, kind of, you know, forge finish to it, it's definitely not a bad little purchase, and you can get a lot of use out of it. You know, it's something small enough to bring backpacking, hunting, you know, camping, whatever, and you can actually wear it on your belt and be mobile with it. And, you know, if you do spend some time and take the time and effort to learn how to use it and get comfortable with it, it's really an effective tool. Is it the best tool out there? No, you're not going to take down full-size trees with it. No, you're not going to cut thin, wispy, you know, things like that. It's just kind of thick for those kind of trailblazing kind of tasks. But when it comes to processing wood, you know, doing those kind of camp chores, this thing really shines. So I did try over the weekend. I cleared a lot of brush with this. I've been pushing back the brush on my property for a couple of years now, and so I took it to a couple different types of trees and branches and weeds and things like that. You know, this thing, we got a lot of vines in the back too. It went through the vines like a piece of cake, but these are kind of harder woody vines. And you know, branches does really well with nice green branches. You know, the really dry hardwood, I did take it and do a little batoning with it. And yeah, it's okay. It's not the best, you know, but it did do the job. It definitely did the job, doing some batoning. And the only thing I did a little carving with it too. I kind of used it as a draw knife and did some carving just to kind of test it out a little bit more to get fresh for this review. And it carves very well, believe it or not. You actually can do a very good job carving dry seasoned wood. It does really well. The convex edge is really good with that. But like I said, you're just kind of limited to smaller trees, saplings, things like that. And you know, you're just not going to have the effectiveness of a thin Latin machete when it comes to taking down weeds and all that. So, but that's, you know, that's common sense, guys. So here we go. That's it. The Condor Golok. Hope you guys